New York Giants Week 9 reaction. The Giants coming off a victory. Love saying that. They win this game 23-20. I was 1 point off. Someone brought it to my attention after the game. 1 point off from being right. I had it 24-20 Giants, but we'll take that. So the Giants are now 2-7 on the year. Washington falls to 2-6. So the Giants, I mean, look. We're in November, November 8th, and we'll be in mid-November on next Sunday when we're playing the Eagles in a meaningful game. And I know when you're 2-7, you probably should not be playing meaningful games in the NFL, but due to the state of our division being terrible, the Giants actually will be in a meaningful game with the first-place Eagles. So, yeah, that's a game they have to win, and I think today was a big win because if they wanted to compete for the playoffs this year, which I still, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I still think this is the Eagles' division to lose, if I'm being honest, but at the same time, if the Giants have any playoff aspirations in 2020, they had to win this game, in my opinion. And they did it. So it was not the prettiest of victories. I mean, what the Giants did in this game clearly was win the turnover battle. It was 5-0 in favor of the Giants, and when you don't turn the ball over in a game like this, you're going to win. I know they won by 3 points, but the Giants did what they had to do. They were conservative, they didn't turn the ball over, ran the ball well, and made plays on defense, and that's what you have to do to beat teams like Washington. So I really can't complain about that. It's not a win that doesn't really, get me crazy optimistic about the outlook of this team, but there are some good things. I will say, we'll get into them later, but the offensive line was awesome. Honestly, Matt Pear and Andrew Thomas were awesome in this game. I think PFF said that they did not allow a pressure in this game against a very impressive front seven. You're talking about Chase Young and Montez Sweat. Those guys not getting any pressures on your tackles, the rookie tackles. Very impressive in my mind. So that's very intriguing to see. And Wayne Gallman, hell, even Alfred Morris, revenge game against his former Washington team. Awesome to see. So he was really good in this game. And Daniel Jones, I mean, look, once again, I don't really come away from this game being any more optimistic about Daniel Jones than I was a week ago. But at the same time, it's good to see him have a game where he managed the game very well, didn't make the stupid throw, didn't turn the ball over, and got the Giants to a victory. You know what I mean? Daniel Jones didn't carry the Giants, and that's not what's going to happen probably, but if you don't turn the ball over and do your job, you're going to win. And I know I'm stealing that Bill Belichick quote, do your job, but still, if Daniel Jones does his job and doesn't give the ball to the other team, the Giants can probably win a lot of these games, and that probably could have happened last Monday too, but anyway, we'll go into the game, talk about everything that happened. So in the first quarter, there was a nice trick play, a handoff to Sterling Shepard that went for 15 to 20 yards. It was a play where I think Ingram went in motion behind Jones or to his left, kind of threw off one defender. Then they might have faked a handoff to Gallman on the inside. Then they handed it back to Shepard. He went around. We'll go over that in the film review. It was a play I was a fan of. The Giants on that first drive have a 4th-and-1. They go for it. Deion Lewis had an inside handoff from the shotgun formation. I wasn't the biggest fan of this play, but hey, if it worked, then everyone would be like, okay, good call. But I guess the Giants might have felt the box wasn't stacked and they might have had an advantage. It just didn't work out for them. So they get stuffed there. Then Washington gets the ball. This crazy play happens. Antonio Gibson catches a ball, tiptoes on the sideline, then fumbles, and the ball rolls for like 20, 25 yards. Eventually, a Giant comes up with it. It's Jabril Peppers who recovered it. Once again, Jabril Peppers, I said last Monday, probably played his best game as a Giant. I can confidently say this was the best string of 2 games in a row that he played in a Giants uniform. Jabril Peppers is becoming an actual good safety, and I love seeing that, so awesome job by him. Logan Ryan was the forced fumble on that one, hit it with his helmet. Giants get the ball back. Daniel Jones, deep ball. Daniel Jones, deep ball. Yeah, we struggled with that last week, but he got it done to Austin Mack right here, 50 yards. I love Austin Mack, so seeing him catch a ball for 50 yards was awesome. Almost scored a touchdown later. There was a 3rd-and-10 throw to nobody in the end zone. I mean, I think Jones just might have tried to throw it out of bounds, but it went to nobody. Gano gets a 38-yard field goal. Giants go 3-0. So next drive for Washington, Peppers forces an incompletion on Logan Thomas. Nice play. I think he had it on the right sideline. He had the ball, and then Jabril Peppers kind of just forced it out of his hands in the final second and made a nice play there. Forced a punt there for Washington. Giants get the ball back, 3rd-and-2, first down to Shepard. Daniel Jones was sacked on a flea flicker play. So you might look at this game, and I think Jones was sacked like 5 times in this game, and you might look at that and say, well, the Giants' offensive line was crap. I don't look at it that way. I think there's context to that one because the Giants, they ran some kind of like trick plays in this game. I think Daniel Jones was sacked maybe 2 or 3 times on like these long developing trick plays. So like I really can't blame the offensive line for that. We'll go over that in the film review once again, but I really don't blame the offensive line for all of the sacks that happened in this game. Evan Engram nearly causes an interception. That would have been bad. I think the throw, it might have been slightly behind him, but once again, it was tipped up. One of the linebackers, like Pierre Lewis, I think it was, dove on that ball, and I think it, the replay showed it hit the ground, but the refs might have called it an interception in live time, but after the replay, it was not. Third and 16 play was like a quick screen to Ingram, not converted, Giants punt. Mondre Harper, he recovers a fumble on a punt, and it was a weird play. The dude caught it on the ground and tried to bring the ball back up. Someone else hit him, and Harper got the ball. Giants get the ball inside of Washington's, I don't know what it was, maybe 30, 40-yard line, so they had good field position here. Austin Mack had that nice catch on the right sideline where he almost scored. He dove over a guy. It looked like he didn't hit the ground at first, but the replay showed his knee hit the ground. Giants had the ball at the 2-yard line. Then Wayne Gallman runs the ball in for a 2-yard touchdown, make it 10-0. And while a 2-yard touchdown might not seem like a lot and might not seem like much, honestly, when the Giants have been inside the 5-yard line the past couple of games, I'm talking about the Buccaneers game and this one, they've been pretty physical with running the ball. And I know Shane Lemieux is like one of the big reasons for that. He's a guard that's a mauler, and he's doing a really good job of pushing guys out of the way and creating run lanes. And I think Andrew Thomas, at least from what I saw from college, was supposed to be one of the best run blockers coming out of the draft class. So to see the Giants actually being a really good run blocking team inside the 5 and making, red zone opportunities now easier to convert because they're getting so much push. It's really nice to see. So I like what they're doing with the run game. Antonio Gibson on the next drive had a 14 to 15-yard catch. McLaurin had a 12-yard catch. Peppers had a sack. Now, this was the play where Allen got hurt. Kyle Allen snapped his ankle. I think it's a dislocated ankle, they called it. Didn't look as bad as the Dak injury, but you can tell something was not right there. It looked pretty ugly, but I think it was called a hit for going too low on the quarterback. You can't really hit a quarterback below his, I don't know if it's a waist or knees. It might be waist, honestly. I don't even know, but he hit the quarterback too low. So then Washington has a holding call in the red zone. The Washington penalty made it 3rd and 24, and then Dustin Hopkins goes for a field goal to make it 10-3 Giants. Next drive, Shepard has a 25-ish yard catch on 3rd down. Big play for the Giants there. Then there was a 4th and 2. They decided to kick the field goal from 48 yards out, make it 13-3. I'll admit, I wasn't the biggest fan of that because a 48-yard field goal, while Graham Gano has been automatic this year, 48 yards is not the easiest thing. If you watch the Cardinals game, which just happened, they had a 49-yard field goal to send that game to overtime, essentially, and the guy, missed it short. So it's not like a 49-yard field goal is automatic. But Graham Gano has been close to automatic this year, honestly. So great. He's been off to a great start the first half of the year. Giants make it 13-3, as I said. There was a play, huge loss on a sack for, it was Isaac Yiadom / Leonard Williams on that play. It was to make it a 3rd and 24. So it was a play where he I think Yiadom kind of wrapped up Smith. Smith kind of twirled off of him, and then Leonard Williams came in to clean it up, and it was a big loss for them, of course. So then the Giants get the ball back on a punt. Alfred Morris, he had a couple nice runs in a row here. 15-yard run for Morris, followed by a 12-yard run a couple plays later. Then a 3rd and 5 ball to C.J. Board, who came back. I don't know if this was his first game back, but Board, I have not seen him in a while, so this might have been his first game back. Board had a really good slant catch, and I think Jones placed that ball perfectly, and Board made a really nice catch. Alfred Morris, 8-yard gain. Evan Ingram, 16-yard touchdown to make it 20-3 Giants. So it was a perfectly placed ball. It was kind of the type of pass you need to put some touch on, and Jones did a good job of that. Got it over the linebacker, got it in the outstretched arm, not the outstretched, but the stretched arms of Evan Ingram. He made a nice catch and a nice throw by Daniel Jones there. Then Washington gets the ball back. They have a big pass to Sims. It's Cam Sims, I believe that is, who killed the Giants in this game, honestly. Had a big catch before the half, but then Blake Martinez gets an interception, and everything is okay. I think it was a play where maybe Alex Smith tried to check down to J.D. McKissick, who once again, McKissick killed the Giants in this game. It always seems to happen, but tried to check it down, and they were just not on the same page, and McKissick might have fell, and it landed right in the hands of Blake Martinez, who was waiting for it. And Martinez, as I've always said, I've been saying this the past couple weeks, is he's been phenomenal, but I really have to say he's been just awesome for this team. Very happy the Giants signed him. I went on Twitter, I don't know when it was, maybe sometime a few days ago. I labeled it accountability tweet because some people don't like when you call yourself out and stuff and think you're always right. But I said I wanted the Giants to sign Corey Littleton this year. He's on the Raiders now, not having a good year. Blake Martinez has been really good. So I give the Giants a lot of credit for that when they signed the right guy, it looks like. So coming into the third quarter, another big catch for Sims. It was a blown assignment. I have to watch exactly what happened. We'll see that in the film review. Antonio Gibson had a goal line touchdown to make it 20-10, so they're cutting into that 23 lead. Then the Giants have a Wayne Gallman 12-yard run. I put TD. That's definitely not what happened. Stupid me. But Caden Smith had a broken tackle in the flat. Got a first down on that play. Evan Engram had a first down catch after that. Austin Mack had a first down catch on a slant route. Daniel Jones gets sacked on a fake end around. I forget what happened. I guess they sent the receiver in motion, kind of like faked behind him, and then nobody fell for it. So once again, that's another example of a sack on a long developing somewhat of a trick play. So I don't really blame the offensive line for something like that. Then on that drive, they settled for a Graham Gano 42-yard field goal, 23-10 lead for the Giants. And as we know now at least, that's the last time the Giants would score. But still, they had a 13-point lead. We're halfway through the third quarter here. Next drive for Washington, Sims has another nice reception. Washington has holding to make it 1st and 20. I think Isaiah Wright, his name is, has a first down catch. I forget what happened on that catch. It's like, I can't remember, but we'll go over that later. Leonard Williams had a sack, and I think Leonard Williams now has 5 sacks on the year. He's been great playing for a contract, and he'll get paid a lot this upcoming offseason, whether it's by the Giants or some other team. Dustin Hopkins has a field goal on that drive to make it 23-13. Then we enter quarter number 4. Alfred Morris has a first down run. As I talked about, Morris was great. And this is back to my running back argument. If you open up holes for a running back, it really doesn't matter who your running back is. Alfred Morris has been out of football for a while. He's not really that good. But if you open up holes for Alfred Morris, even Alfred Morris can run through those holes. You know what I mean? So just saying. Washington had a offsides on 3rd and 5 to make it first down for the Giants. Evan Engram dropped what would have been a first down. And, yeah, that was a killer. The Giants punted after that. But, yeah, definitely a ball that Engram should have caught. You know, sometimes you could say the quarterback threw it behind him or too far out in front of him. I think it was like a deep curl route, and it literally hit Engram right in the chest, and he just dropped it. So, you know, he was mad at himself. You can tell. I feel bad for Engram because you can tell Engram really cares. It's not like he's one of those guys that's just out there collecting checks. He wants to be good at, you know, be a great player, but sometimes it just doesn't really click for him, and that was an instance of it. So he was not happy with himself, but it is what it is. I was not happy with the Giants on this play. Terry McLaurin had a 68-yard touchdown, missed tackles everywhere. It was Yadam, and I think Logan Ryan as well took a bad angle to this. Mostly Yadam, but yeah, Logan Ryan as well deserves some blame for that. Even David Mayo was there near the play when it happened to make it 23-20. And I tweeted like maybe, I don't know, a half hour before this. I was like, wow, we might see a relaxing Giants win today, which we have not seen in a while. Like a lot of times when the Giants win games, it's in nail-biting fashion, and I'm a person that bites my nails, and they don't look good. But I don't like being in close games. So if the Giants can win this close, or win a game very comfortably and not have to worry about it, it would have been great. But of course, they make it 23-20. Then I'm like, oh crap, we're gonna lose this game, aren't we? But the Giants found the way. So Deion Lewis on the kick return brought it to the 35-yard line. Nice job by him. Evan Engram had a illegal pick. I forget who caught the ball. I should know this, but someone caught it. I forget who it was, honestly. But I think it would have been a first down, but then they called the illegal pick. Then Daniel Jones was sacked on a 3rd and long. Oh, not sacked. I put sacked in quotations. This might have been a sack, which also might contribute to the sack number. But it was like a 3rd and long draw play, like a quarterback draw. I don't know if they counted it as a sack or not, but it looked like a designed quarterback run. So whether, I don't know if the stats counted it as a sack or not. Maybe that's what attributed to the 5 sacks in that game once again. But, you know, based on this video so far, that's 3 sacks where it really wasn't the offensive line's fault. So Washington gets the ball back after that sack on Daniel Jones. McKissick had a 3rd and 2 catch for a first down. McKissick had another like 12-yard catch for a first down. Then Jabril Peppers gets an interception, and as I mentioned before, Jabril Peppers is becoming a playmaker, and Peppers is kind of playing the way, dare I say, like Landon Collins was back in 2016. I mean the last 2 games at least, not the whole season, of course. I think Peppers, to start the year, was pretty disappointing because a lot of us had high hopes for him, but the last 2 weeks at least, he's been playing like 2016 Landon, who deserved Defensive Player of the Year. So, I mean, if he keeps playing like that, then I think Jabril Peppers might end up being one of the better safeties in football. I'm not sure if it'll happen, but if it continues in this direction and he keeps playing with this type of consistency and this type of, like, you know, game-changing playmaking on defense, he might be there one day. So we'll see. Giants get the ball back. It basically was a 3-and-out, 3rd and 6, a sack on Daniel Jones. That one might have been on the offensive line. I'm trying to remember what happened, but I think that might have been on the offensive line. But as I said, we'll go over it in the film review. I like to go over the sacks and see what happens, so we'll go over that in the film review. Washington gets the ball back, I think 1 minute to go, 23-20. They probably had to go like probably 70, 80 yards or so. And I'm thinking to myself, oh man, here we go again. And I figured, like with the Giants and how they usually handle late games when it's close, that Washington would at least tie this game and it'd be 23-23. Luckily for the Giants, Alex Smith was not really like himself in this game, and I guess he's, you know, having a hard time getting back into NFL, not shape, but just getting used to the game once again. He's been out of it for a while, and it was supposed to be Kyle Allen starting this game, but Alex Smith, whether it was a miscommunication or him not reading the defense correctly, threw the ball right to Logan Ryan, who made the interception and basically ended the game right there. And what a crazy week for Logan Ryan. If you guys haven't heard the story, there was a Giants trainer that apparently basically told Logan Ryan, I think it's his wife. If I'm wrong, I apologize. I think it's his wife, though. His wife, I believe, or girlfriend, had some type of stomach pains going on. This happened maybe like 4 or 5 days ago, and like one of the Giants trainers basically told her to go to the emergency room in case it's something serious. Turned out it was something that could have been very serious. It could have been something that could have led to a death, they said. So one of the Giants trainers potentially saved Logan Ryan's wife's life, and that's awesome. And, this guy just had a crazy week. Joe Judge, being the stand-up man that he is, was like, hey, Logan, if you want to, take off this week and kind of just go with your wife, then that's fine. Like, he's the type of guy. It happened the same thing with, I think it's maybe Derek Dillon, one of the wide receivers that came out of LSU that was undrafted for the Giants. He might be on the practice squad now. He had a situation as well, a personal issue, and Joe Judge basically told him, you can leave and practice if you need to, and you'll still get paid. Like, Joe Judge has been a really stand-up guy so far, so I love hearing that type of stuff. But really awesome story. And if you're a Nets fan, a Brooklyn Nets fan, it reminds me of the story when the Nets trainer basically saved one of the Nets players' lives. The guy was having chest pains. It turned out, I forget what exactly it was, but basically, if the Nets trainer didn't tell him to get checked out further and go to the ER, my guy might have had a heart attack on the plane or something, and they were in Los Angeles, so going from Los Angeles to Brooklyn might have been an issue. So yeah, I mean, I love hearing stories like that, though. It's always good to be cautious, So the Giants, back to football. The Giants won the turnover battle 5-0, as I said, and that's really the ultimate difference in this game. I don't think the Giants played their best game of the year. I think you can argue the Giants' offensive line played their best game of the year. You can argue that the Giants, I don't want to say defense played their best game of the year, because there was a lot of missed tackles and blown assignments, and not a lot, but just enough where it was kind of alarming. But you can say from a turnover standpoint and making turnovers and making plays and big time plays, you can say the Giants had their best game defensively. So I will say that, but they did create a lot of turnovers, which I like. So that was good to see. But the offensive line is definitely intriguing, and now we're kind of left with this question. I'm sure we'll get a lot of that when I talk to the entertainer on Tuesday. What did the Giants do with Will Hernandez? Because Will Hernandez, was out this game due to the COVID situation once again, but he's probably due to come back next week against Philly. Like, do you keep Lemieux in there for how well this offensive line is playing right now? Because honestly, you can argue the Giants have had their best 2 offensive line games of the season, the past 2 games, and that's when Shane Lemieux's been in there. Do you just bench Will Hernandez and say, forget it, guy, like, we're done with you? Do you trade him in the offseason? I don't know what they're going to do. It would not shock me, but it's going to be confusing because, you don't want to give up on Will Hernandez, who looks like he was, starting to play better. But for how the offensive line's been playing lately, it's like, can you really take Shane Lemieux out of the lineup? So I really have no idea. Usually I lean one side on these things. I am literally just, throwing my hands up. I have no idea what's going to happen with that situation. But I think whatever the Giants decide to do, I can get behind it because I like Will Hernandez. I want him to be this, franchise left guard that we drafted him to be. But at the same time, I love Shane Lemieux, and I would like him to get reps in his rookie year. But at the same time, he's still young. I think the future plans for Lemieux is probably to move him to right guard once Kevin Zeitler's ultimately cut in the offseason and see what happens there. But it would suck to take him out of the lineup for how well he's playing right now. So we'll see what happens right there. But, I think there's a lot of possibilities for what can happen. Do they keep Will Hernandez out of the lineup and keep Shane Lemieux in, or do they go back to Will Hernandez and bench Shane Lemieux, who played pretty well? So we'll have to find out about that. But that is pretty much it. I feel like I'm missing something, but we do play the Eagles. I'll go over the standings real quick just to show you guys. I kind of talked about that before, but the Giants might be in a situation where if they win next Sunday against the Eagles, the Eagles would be 3-5-1 if the Giants lost, and the Giants would be 3-7. So 3-5-1, 3-7. So I guess they would be a game and a half out. I'm not good at math, but something like that. A game and a half out, which is not bad. We'll take that for being a 3-7 team. We would be at that time. The Cowboys lost a close one today, but they're 2-7. They don't really scare me too much, honestly. Washington now goes to 2-6. They still are above the Giants though because they have one less loss, and I think do they have a better division record? They might have a better division record. I'm trying to think. They beat the Eagles. They beat Dallas, so they also have 2 division wins. Maybe one more if I'm forgetting it. But yeah, so the standings are tight right now. There's definitely a lot up in the air right now to see what's going to happen with this NFC East. And I still, as I said before, I still think it's the Eagles' division to lose. I still expect them to win this division. They are the most talented team. They probably have the best quarterback still. But, at the same time, I think anything could happen here. So if the Giants find a way to beat Philly next Sunday, I think there's actually a legitimate chance the Giants can win this division, which might sound crazy at 3-7, but it is possible, as I said, based on how bad the division is. But I don't expect it to happen, but it would be cool to win on Sunday. Then they come out of the bye, they play the Bengals and some other tougher teams after that. So the schedule gets harder, but winning these division games is huge. So we'll have to go out and actually do it next Sunday. So we'll see. But let me know in the comments how you feel about this game. I come away happy we won a game that we were supposed to win in my mind. I know Vegas had Washington as the favorites. I never really felt that way, honestly. I don't know why they had them as the favorites. I thought maybe coming off a bye week, they looked good against Dallas 2 weeks ago, but I figured the Giants just had more mojo. They were playing really well against really good teams. So I figured the Giants should probably win this game, and I know Kyle Allen got hurt, which you cannot predict, but, at the same time, I thought the Giants were a bit better in my opinion. So I'm happy they won this game, and a game they probably were supposed to win in my mind, and probably some other Giants fans' minds as well. But I'll talk to you guys after, I don't know when, probably tomorrow if the coach's film is out, hopefully. If not, then I'll probably talk to you guys on Tuesday. We'll be on my channel with The Entertainer. Hope to see you guys there. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you next time.